No.
3, 2,
Nervous.
1. I mean, I'm not nervous. Anyway, welcome to Schmucks Podcast, Episode 2. All you dudes and dudettes, assholes and schmucks. Welcome to the #1 podcast where schmucks come together, talk about shit, talk about sports, hanging out, having a beer. Fucking, now we're shooting the shit about the NFL drafts. A lot of shit's happened, all you sports fans. I'm not a sports fan.
Keep it going, Weezy.
I'm not a sports fan.
He's starting it up.
I don't give a shit about these sports things. But my friends here, Andrew Dan Kiley, Greg Bruckner, Will. Everybody's got something to talk about today.
How we doing?
Big topics, NFL drafts. What else are we talking about? The weed thing.
Yeah.
Tom Brady walking into someone's house.
Tom Brady walking into somebody's house.
The Last Dance, probably
Dance.
the biggest sports documentary ever to hit television.
Last Dance. All right.
Unbelievable.
Now I understand you boys have been anticipating talking about this shit together. Anticipating this podcast for the NFL draft. All right, shoot the shit, fellas.
The last 2 days.
Shoot the shit, fellas.
So where do we want to start? We want to start with Gronkowski?
Hold on. Quick thank you to the 494 people that visited the Instagram the last 7 days.
Yeah.
Social media's been popping off. We have 73 followers on Instagram. Everything's on Spotify. Follow the YouTube. We have like 4 subscribers. The YouTube now up. You can search on Schmucks. Find us, subscribe to that shit, like that shit, watch it. Every Friday we're gonna record. Every Friday we're gonna drop a video.
And I was gonna say something. I was gonna say, this is gonna be a journey, fellas. It's gonna be fun. Everybody's learning something. I'm learning how to produce shit. I'm learning how to fucking render and stuff. I'm doing all the technical stuff. I'm learning sports. You know, this is crazy. This is crazy shit.
I'm using what I learned from my parents' business social media to apply it to this.
Yeah. Will's being Will. Will. I don't. Will, what are you doing? How are you helping us out?
All right, let's get the shit.
One sec. We just
excuse me, Larry.
Just to reiterate, social media. So remember, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at LI Schmucks and at Facebook at Long Island Schmucks. And remember to look us up on YouTube. Long Island Schmucks is the YouTube. Remember, subscribe, like, comment. We want to hear from our viewers. Remember, we do not succeed unless we hear what you guys want. And
I want to add something too. All right, you just hit the subscribe button, fellas. I know you guys don't look at the subscribe thing anyway. All right, who the fuck's got time to look on the left hand side? Look at your subscribe thing. Nobody gives a shit. All right, just fucking subscribe. All right, it means more to us than it means to you.
Do it.
If you guys want to fucking keep tuning in every week to our content, record Fridays, we upload whenever.
Okay, I can't take the anticipation.
There you go. Go.
Let's get it rolling.
Let's do it.
We are talking about, obviously, the NFL draft, the first virtual NFL draft in NFL history of 2020. Boys, how are we feeling? How has last night been?
It went like I thought it was gonna be a complete shit show. Like I thought there was gonna be.
It was for your team.
Oh yeah, it was for my team,
God,
but I'm saying in general.
It was for all of our teams except yours.
Yeah, I know. I'm having a great time.
Okay, let me continue.
Of us went through it last night. Yep.
Let me continue.
Let Greg talk.
Yeah. So I was expecting it to be a complete shit show, just technically, because I was expecting a bunch of lagging and Roger Goodell not knowing who was up, and thought someone was maybe going to hack into it, but it didn't happen. I would have loved to have seen that, and we talk about that, but it went well. Yeah, was surprised, pleasantly surprised. We needed something like that.
I'm sorry, Danny. I feel like there were more commercials too. Honestly, that was the only bad thing about it.
Yeah. It was ridiculous.
A lot of commercials.
Mad commercials.
But there was 2 things that I noticed. One, the fact that Goodell just fucking embraced the fact that he gets booed every year and was letting people boo him through a computer screen. That was hysterical.
It was funny.
It was hysterical. I thought it was cool. I think Goodell's the most useless man in football, but I thought he actually did something right for a change by letting people boo him through a computer screen.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing was too, you could just tell how kind of awkward it was with these announcers, like the analysts, because they would accidentally interrupt someone, and they'd be like, "Oh no, sorry, go ahead," and then they'd wait 5 minutes because there was a delay coming through their headset. Like, go ahead, and then you just be sitting there waiting, all right, are they going to say something? Are they going to say what's going on? Oh yeah, thanks. And I was like, wait, he stopped talking 10 minutes ago.
Yeah,
but it went as well as they probably imagined it, if not better.
Mhm.
It did go smoothly. It was just the awkwardness of the
You-
mic delay.
I thought there was also a big difference in like the way that guys actually got selected. Like I saw obviously it was expected Joe Burrow was going to go number 1 overall,
Mhm.
but he literally had the Bengals hat in his hand between his legs waiting to be picked.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a second. Do these guys actually know where they're going before and then they just like react?
So
there was
so they get a phone call, but you see them get the phone call
Yeah.
beforehand. But also the day before, like they basically introduced Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
I think he was the
Adam
one and only
Schefter
that knew.
posted it. I'm gonna go find the post right now and see what the Bengals GM said or the Bengals coach said.
But did you guys see like some of like the bigger prospects like on the table? They had all the hats like lined up. Did you see that, or was I bugging?
No,
they did. That's so.
I
If
think
you
they
saw
get
their
at least like
post,
3 hats.
No. They sent the FedEx sent all the hats. Those big FedEx boxes.
Yeah.
They sent them a whole bunch of stuff to wear if whoever they got picked by.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
and
Gotcha.
like Joe Burrow, I think is the only one who just like knew. Like he's been the number 1 overall pick for
Mhm.
2.5,
Of
3
course,
months.
yeah.
So
And he, like Will said, they introduced him as their new starting quarterback the day before the first round.
on Wednesday, the Bengals president Mike Brown officially welcomed LSU quarterback Joe Burrow to Cincinnati one day before the draft. Like, and that's on Adam Schefter's Instagram account. Like
That's
the kid
interesting.
knew he was going number 1.
I wonder how it is regular draft though.
Oh, they have no idea.
I feel like that's totally different then.
It depends.
That's
They have absolutely no clue.
Because like Baker Mayfield wasn't supposed to go 1, he went 1.
Yeah, because everything is just so like I feel like everything was delayed. Like even like the phone calls and the reactions from the players.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, but I mean like for everything, like everything live, you have that TV delay, where whichever like TV, like every TV, I feel like is just delayed like by like a second or something like that.
Yeah.
And you'll see like they'll see like the pick of their name go up or something, and I don't know. I feel like maybe they just switched around like the timing of phone calls and stuff.
I also felt like the mock drafts were almost like perfect because a lot of guys were like they got picked and they were like, all right, like cool. Like CeeDee Lamb's video, like he was on the phone with the Cowboys and he was just like, all right, like cool, I got picked. Like let's do it.
Yeah.
Like then there was some people that were like freaking out, going crazy, you know, like they all
Like
I think
Mekhi
should.
Becton.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You even saw that with what's his name, Javon Kinlaw, his dad going crazy on the floor. He was like
the South
rolling on
Carolina
floor and
lineman.
shit.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like, so the NFL draft overall, like, I thought it went well, the virtual draft. So now let's pinpoint the players. How do we feel about where everyone landed? Let's start with the number 1 pick, Joe Burrow. How are we feeling about him on the Bengals, and do you think he'll make an immediate impact?
He's got AJ Green.
If
and T. Higgins.
Now, they picked him today.
Now, yeah. If AJ Green can stay healthy, Joe Burrow being as athletic and accurate of a passer as he is, they're going to be a different offense.
Yeah.
He's not the Red Rocket. He's not going to go out there and throw, passes 15 feet away from guys. He's going to hit AJ Green on a dime. You know what I mean? So it's like it's going to be a whole different offense.
How's that Bengals line?
It's not the best.
It's not great.
Not the best. It's not a good line.
Who do you guys think, Joe? Who do you guys think is going to have more of an impact, like on the league as a whole, Tua or Joe Burrow?
Are you talking about first year or like?
I'm not talking about first year. I'm talking about like lengthwise, like maybe 10 years.
Career-wise.
Career.
I
was trying to think about that. I can't really pinpoint it right now.
I mean, the only way that Tua, because I think Tua overall
Jordan
is more
Love
talented than Joe Burrow. I think he's more talented.
I'm not kidding.
But it's all about health for him. If he can't stay healthy, then his career is down the shitter. Like it's
that's what I was gonna say too. If Tua can stay healthy, he's gonna be fucking unreal.
Word.
Yeah. The guy can move, the guy can throw. He's a lefty. He's somewhat of a novelty because he is a lefty quarterback in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Will, you can speak more to this than I can, but I think going up against a lefty quarterback kind of throws the defense off a little bit. It's something they're not used to seeing. He's throwing from the opposite way. The line shifts and everything.
It's only really a line shift. It's a slight adjustment for the corners too, because it's just a swap of strong side. and that's really only for rollout passes mostly, because a quarterback should be able to sit in the pocket and throw to each side of the field no matter what. But when you're rolling out, it's different, because as a righty, rolling out to your right, you have more power because your shoulders are already turned, but you also don't want to dip your shoulder because then the ball drops, but your shoulders are already turned, and you have more power coming out.
Yeah.
So it's different with a lefty. Like, corners got to realize that on defense, the right side of the field, the ball's going to come out faster, the ball's coming out harder. If there's a rollout, if there's a scramble coming out left, it's just more power coming that way.
Yeah. So just a list of Tua's injuries just in the past. One, he had the broken left index finger, March 2018.
Two ankles.
No games missed. Got a sprained right knee. Left high ankle sprain. Right high ankle sprain.
In the same
and then
game.
The dislocated right hip with posterior
Posterior wall. It's the posterior wall.
Posterior wall fracture.
Acetabular?
Acetabular. Yes, you got it right, Daniel.
Nice. Dr. Dan, baby.
Dude, I don't even know what the hell
That was a good one. That was a good one.
What that means. Like, I'm just going based off the way that you attempted to say it, and we're probably like maybe as far off as you could have been. I just kind of tried to correct it.
Yeah, exactly.
He had those ankles got hurt in the same game.
Yeah, it's tough just to see him stay healthy. I mean,
but it's also different when you're in college. There's he's holding on to the ball more because he's a playmaker, and that's just what he does. They're going to teach him to get rid of the ball faster. To if it's not there, throw it away. Don't do those turns and jukes and all that shit like for 15, 20 yards backwards. Like, just throw it away. We got the next play.
Yeah. Now this is another question that I've seen on ESPN and other sports networks like that. Who do we think is gonna have a better career with the two picks? They're two totally different sides of the ball, but are we thinking Chase Young or Joe Burrow?
It's hard to compare.
It's hard to compare a quarterback.
It's two totally different sides of the ball, but the thing is that the quarterback is the biggest impact player.
That's why I'm going to have to say Joe Burrow, just because he's going to, you're going to hear about him more. He's going to be someone you hear about every play on the field.
See, the thing is, if Joe Burrow doesn't produce, he's going to get benched or he's going to get taken out. Or he's going to be gone. The thing is, with a D end, like Jadeveon Clowney only had 2 sacks this year. He's still one of the best defensive linemen in the league. Chase Young could, have a blowout rookie year, and then the next year suck, but he's still going to play, still going to start.
No doubt. Yeah.
Like, no one's going to replace him. There's not that much pressure on him like there is a quarterback.
That's facts. Yep.
Yeah.
So it's hard to compare.
Well, because you're handing a young kid the franchise basically to run the team.
Yeah.
It's impossible to compare, like you're saying. Well, I don't know. And then you're looking at the two teams. Obviously, they're 1-2 in the draft. They're shitty teams. So you got,
I think that Washington's more put together than Cincinnati.
Without a doubt.
You got a coach that just came in who's been to the Super Bowl, was on a successful Carolina team for a few years, has coached an MVP quarterback, has a similar quarterback in Dwayne Haskins. Maybe not as a runner, but definitely that big-bodied like thrower, and he can work on throwing with him. They have McLaurin on the outside, similar to Carolina's receivers, short and fast. Like that's a great coach for them. It's the perfect fit. He's going in, and Ron Rivera loves defense. Always a defense-heavy guy. Always.
Yeah. Very true.
Loves
Very
defense.
True. And another thing that is vital for a team is having a good pass rusher, and who better to have than Chase Young right now? Because that guy's an absolute just animal on the outside.
Yeah, I mean, but then you look at the Bengals too. They have Geno Atkins and Dunlap still, right?
Yeah, but they're getting older.
They're still pretty dominant on the defensive front, though. And then,
Atkins is still a Pro Bowler,
Yeah, if they can create havoc and get Joe Burrow the ball more, the guy has enough skill. With one of those receivers on the field, whether it's T. Higgins if he stays healthy, or AJ Green if he stays healthy, or if they're both healthy,
Even Tyler Boyd, who I think is one of the most underrated wide receivers.
Yeah, he's like he's got the weapons now that he can all of a sudden, the Bengals offense is going to be completely new look. Plus, they still have Joe Mixon, who I think is very overrated. But he's a serviceable starting running back.
Their defense is going to look a lot better because they were last in the league in rushing or second to last in the league in rushing. But that's only because teams didn't have to throw against them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very true.
With Joe Burrow and you have A.J. Green potentially, hopefully coming back because he's one of the best receivers in the league, just fun to watch. And now T. Higgins on two sides of the ball. Obviously the offense is going to put up more points, which means that team is going to have to throw more against the Bengals.
Yeah, very true. Very true. That offense is very high powered and it could be scary depending on how Joe Burrow looks coming out of LSU.
All this talk about Joe Burrow and Tua. Don't forget about the two other QBs in the first round that went: Justin Herbert and Jordan Love.
You want to just address the elephant in the room right now? Like, is that what we're doing?
Yeah, I was saying that Jordan Love is going to have the biggest impact in the NFL than between all the quarterbacks.
I mean, Greg, hear me out for a second. I know you're frustrated, and I understand why.
You shouldn't be frustrated.
After you, I'm going to vent.
You shouldn't be frustrated because they did this with Aaron Rodgers was drafted.
Yeah.
The same age, almost to the day.
And almost the pick, too.
Yeah.
And almost the pick. It was one pick off that Aaron Rodgers was selected. Two picks off. That Aaron Rodgers was selected to be the next in kin for Brett Favre. And look how it turned out. They got you a Super Bowl.
I was going to say the same thing because you have Love now. He's not going to start next year. He's probably not going to start the year after that. Aaron Rodgers, unless the Packers make some weird move, he's not going anywhere.
No, I don't agree with that. See, I think that if Aaron Rodgers does not win a Super Bowl this upcoming season, that Jordan Love will be the quarterback the next year.
Well,
listen. Look at, I know it's a little bit older, but Matt Leinart out of USC won the Heisman, was number one pick, best prospect in the draft. He sat behind Kurt Warner at the Cardinals for like 6 years. What good does that do him?
He has to learn from a great quarterback.
He learns.
Okay, and how good did he do in the NFL?
Well, look at Aaron Rodgers.
Might not be because he sat for 6 years, though.
Look at Aaron
Rodgers. Could just be because he wasn't an NFL quarterback.
Look at Jimmy Garoppolo. Look at
sitting behind Brady and having Belichick as a coach is a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, but he sat behind a Hall of Famer in Kurt Warner.
Yeah, but Kurt Warner isn't the same as Tom Brady and Bill Belichick.
Yeah, but he still won a Super Bowl, and you're basically just saying. Then if you look at accolades, then Kurt Warner and Aaron Rodgers, championship-wise, are the same quarterback. They've won one.
Yes, so if they sit, I just think that Aaron Rodgers is too much of a cocky bastard for them to sit.
No one gives him any help.
For them to sit Jordan Love for more than a year or two.
Okay,
he is a complete cocky bastard, but he backs it up. There's no need. I mean,
let me vent.
Douchebag.
Let Greg talk, please. Jeez.
Okay, so here's my feeling on Jordan Love. Do I think that he could be a good quarterback? Yes, they're comparing him to Patrick Mahomes, but I look at the Packers. They just went 13-3 and got to the NFC Championship with obviously Aaron Rodgers. Their defense was better. They literally had one wide receiver, and everyone else on their team was undrafted wide receivers.
And he's aging.
Exactly. So, and Aaron Rodgers is in a win now mode with coming off of a 13-3 season. You have to get that guy help. You have to give your franchise quarterback respect, and you have to get that guy a skill player that can help him win now. And if the fact that they don't do that is very disrespectful in my eyes to him. You just gave Aaron Rodgers a ridiculous contract. You have to give him the tools to put that contract on the field and actually show that he can win a Super Bowl and that he is one of the greatest of all time.
Do you think he's going to ask for a trade?
Not this year. Possibly next year. Yeah, but I can't say if Jordan Love is going to be good or not. Like, I thought the Packers were going to go T. Higgins. And also the fact that you traded up to get Jordan Love, that makes zero sense because literally no team.
He would have been there 5 picks later.
He would have been there.
No doubt.
Every other team was set at quarterback, and they they also didn't need a wide receiver either. You could have waited to get T. Higgins at 30.
Yeah.
Like it makes no sense to me. And I like Stephen A. Smith and Adam Schefter said today on First Take.
Can you guys read that?
Man anymore. He's sad man. Was that Matt Levine?
Matt Levine.
You want to play in my Madden franchise league?
Yeah, you want to pick that up? Pick that up.
I'm not picking it up. I'm not picking it up. So, Greg, I want to be interested.
He's not Carl Baskins. He's not worth it.
I'm going to be interested to see, Greg. So Alex Smith was taking the Chiefs on 11-win, 12-win seasons, taking them to the playoffs. Yeah, he couldn't get it done. You know, they had the big loss to the Colts and stuff like that, and the Titans.
Yeah, but they didn't make it to the they didn't make it to the NFC Championship.
I know, but they still went 11 wins, 12 wins, 13 wins, whatever. Alex Smith was, I think, destined to take them to the Super Bowl. But, you know, they brought in Jordan Love. They brought in Pat Mahomes. He sat 1 year. 1 year and just took over. That could be Jordan Love. And then, like, in a year from now, you'll be saying that's the greatest pick ever.
Yeah, so
we just have no idea.
No, yeah, we have no idea. But I don't think it could be a good pick down the road. Right now,
I think that's what
the fact. Right now, like you made it to the NFC Championship. Like I don't understand why you don't pick another wide receiver to try to just get you over that hump to the Super Bowl. Like you could have. And I just Brian Gutekunst is he really frustrates me. And also today in the second round, they pick a freaking running back. You have Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams.
Sick running back, I'm telling you.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The guy's not going to start. The guy isn't going to make it to the starting position as the Packers running back.
Okay. So it's either that they have trade bait in Jamal Williams or Aaron Jones, and they bump him up.
Then the only thing that I'm looking at with like Aaron Jones or something, or if they trade Jamal Williams, is like
they could cut Jamal Williams for all you know.
Okay, what trade? What trade are you gonna do with that? I don't think they would cut. Oh, did Dan just knock out? Oh,
he's back.
There he is.
Stop.
Okay.
Ryan, can you fix my thing or no?
All right. So that's Jordan Love. Obviously we got the second round and third round going on right now. When our viewers are gonna be watching this, I don't know. Packers are very skeptical to me.
Greg has vented about the Packers. Dan, would you like to vent about the Jets?
I think it was a good pick.
I'm gonna talk about that now. My initial reaction, I think, was a little unfair.
Yeah.
Mekhi Becton, the guy's a brick wall. He's gonna be a great offensive lineman. But my biggest thing was, I had two guys in mind. And since Tristan Wirfs fell there, I was saying to myself, he's there. If you're gonna go offensive line, you gotta go Tristan Wirfs or bust. He's 300 something pounds. The guy runs a 4.8 40. He's mobile. He's agile. He's fast, and he's just strong. Like the guy's an animal. So you put him into that tackle spot, and you have him pull block on a sweep for Le'Veon Bell, and just kind of level guys as they're running down the field. That's an unstoppable duo right there.
Yeah.
Like if you have Tristan Wirfs, and plus he's also just as good of a pass blocker as Becton. So I thought that would have been their pick if they were going offensive line. But Becton's a brick wall. He's not going to really let anyone through to Sam Darnold. He is just an absolute mass of a human being. So I'm not as upset as I was with my initial reaction. I think my initial reaction was more just because I wasn't expecting it with Wirfs and CD both still available.
Albany?
Step two was I was really looking.
We okay?
I was really okay. Well, what just happened there?
I'm watching the draft. I'm sorry.
Turn the volume off.
It is off.
Biggest
Dick.
thing.
It is. I still hear a little vibration. But we're on Zoom, so it's a little technical difficulties.
Zoom, bro.
But Dan, continue. I'm sorry.
So no, it's all good. My biggest thing too was we made so many moves in the offseason, free agent signings for offensive linemen. We made one move for Rashad Perryman. The guy we lost Robbie Anderson. We still have Crowder. That's great.
The Panthers.
That's great, but like it's just we needed a legitimate wide receiver threat, and I was bagging on CD, Ruggs, or Judy. They were all still there, and it was like I understand you need to protect who you want to be your franchise quarterback.
You got to protect
And
Darnold.
I get that.
And the running back who you just paid all the freaking money in the world to.
Again,
so.
and I understand that, but I thought maybe they were setting themselves up for, like, all right, let's take a wide receiver and then we'll take an offensive lineman with our second round pick, because these wide receivers are, some of the best that have come through the draft in a while.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, let's get our franchise quarterback a legitimate weapon that he can throw to and know if I give it to this guy, he's going to most likely go up and get it.
Tank for Waddle.
But they also did just draft that wide receiver out of Baylor, so that makes up for them not getting a weapon, because he's good.
The Packers to take, but
he's good. He's fast. I think he's what, like 6'3"?
Yeah,
am
he's
I completely making that up?
He's right. No, I'm pretty sure he's 6'3". I think you're right.
And he's very fast too.
Yeah,
like he can
good.
move.
He's good.
So
Jets
makes up
tank for Jalen Waddle.
Okay, now I want to hear.
Jets should tank for Jalen Waddle.
Jalen Waddle.
The Jets tanking. The division is up for the taking right now. There's no more Tom Brady or Gronkowski.
Jalen Waddle's a stud.
Jalen Waddle's a dude.
The AFC East is up for grabs right now.
Greg, the Saints took Zach Bond.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Very, very good pick.
I can't wait for Jack Cohen's draft.
Bills are linebacker need. All right, so you know what, Andrew? Let's hear what your feelings are on the Giants, because even from social media, everyone knows my reaction, so they don't got to really hear from me anymore about that shit. But let's hear about the Giants.
Dan has my reaction. I got shafted. Classic Giants fashion. I got shafted. I got fisted. Whatever verbiage you want to say. I was sitting there on my couch. I wanted Jedrick, and they fucking pick Andrew Thomas. I was watching those Giants fans like, what the fuck are you doing? Gettleman puts on his fucking surgical mask.
Guy doesn't even trust himself. It's ridiculous.
I swear to God. I mean, it's classic Giants fashion. I mean, just like your reaction, Dan, I feel like once you start looking into the guy, you're like, this really isn't that bad. The kid's a beast. He's 6'5", 320. He's a big boy.
Yeah,
he'll fit in. I think he'll fit into the schemes pretty nicely right away. And then our second. I mean, I'm not worried about the first round pick. Second round, it could have been a lot worse. Second round pick, I am very excited for Xavier McKinney, safety out of Alabama. I am very, very happy with that pick. Now, I'm surprised he dropped that low on, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he really did. He's a solid safety.
Yeah,
Andrew, last
Dan,
night
things have changed from last night. But...
No, I know. Same thing with me. I'm just saying. Last night when you sent me that video, man, you went through it. You looked like you were about to cry. Like you looked like you were about to cry.
I didn't know what to say.
The draft just does these things to people.
It does. It really does.
It does it like that. I was broken down last night. Like I didn't know who I was. I was just sitting there at just in front of the TV. I was just dumbfounded.
Man, think back to a couple of years ago, like before the Jets drafted Darnold. They drafted, I think it was like 5-6 years in a row, just defense first. They went like Wilkerson, Sheldon Richardson, Leonard Williams, Darren Lee.
It didn't really work out.
Look at the defense now, though. The defense is pretty damn good in New York.
None of those guys are there. The only two guys that were drafted are Jamal and Marcus May. That's it. Everybody else is gone. And Quentin Williams.
Quentin Williams, but he's a fucking bust.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who is he?
He's such a bust.
He played 2 games last year. And then he got arrested because he carried a gun onto a plane. I thought the laws in New York were the same as in Alabama. And I'm sitting there thinking, what the fuck are you talking about? These are federal regulations, not state. Where do you go in Alabama that you can just bring a loaded fucking pistol onto a gun? Like, who do you think you are?
What was that? A loaded fucking pistol onto a gun?
Then you had a big retard moment right there.
It's okay. It's okay. We're recording at 10:22. I'll give him a little bit of a break.
Yeah. Wait. So what happened with that Alabama story? Because that's actually kind of interesting.
Quentin Williams, being
this
dumb fuck. He played 2 games in the NFL, and he thinks he's some hotshot. I think I heard his name said on during the game once all year. A fucking bench player's name was said more than that.
Now, have you seen the guy's interviews? He's actually an idiot. Like he probably has an IQ of like -2.
Dude,
he's
the
brain
one video one of the funniest videos I've ever seen is when he goes, "Bless me, thank you," and then just continues on with the
Yeah,
interview. Like
no, bro, that
nothing
was
happened.
funny. That was funny as fuck, though.
Like,
But like,
nothing happened.
what
He
happened
just
though with him
blessed
though?
himself.
Idiot.
So he
So,
got
and-
he went
and
into
And
a.
now my
moron-
friend.
This
So,
moron goes onto a plane. He goes onto
Oh,
a
he tried
plane
to
with
go
a
onto a plane.
pistol. He goes with a pistol in his backpack, and they go, "You can't have this." He goes, the laws are different in New York than Alabama." No, you
The
stupid
fuck?
fuck.
Well, it is
They're
actually. The
federal
laws are
laws.
different.
those
Yeah,
straight,
but when
yeah,
getting,
but with
when getting
planes,
onto an
getting on a
airplane,
plane.
it's a federal law run by the
Yeah,
Federal
plane,
Aviation
obviously.
Association. Yeah, it's like, no, you fucking moron.
I
You
thought he
can't bring
went-
a
I thought
plane
he
on
got-
you can't bring a gun on a plane anyway.
I thought he went-
Dude,
thought
it's
he-
10:30 at night. I slept for 4 hours last night. I'm asking for a pen.
I thought he
tired,
went
so-
on into a club with a gun, and that's why he got arrested. That's actually.
Oh,
that's
just commonplace.
Yeah,
That's
that's
Plaxico
fine.
Burris.
No, so
Plaxico Burris,
that is
Plaxico
that, that
Burris.
whole story and just Quinnen Williams in a nutshell is just prime example of the GPA that you need to get into the University of Alabama.
Bro, these kids don't go to class their second
Dude,
semester. All they have to do is be eligible for the
God,
whole
their
season.
GPAs don't fucking matter.
Dude, it like no, but no, I'm like it doesn't even matter. Like nowhere.
It's Alabama.
In Alabama,
It's
nowhere
Alabama.
in
PAs
the
don't
University
matter.
of Alabama, no matter what major you have, I don't think that you need to be like. Well, let's look at the required GPA for Alabama because I thought it was
2-0.
it's 2.0. Oh my god. I think Farmingdale has better academic
I
standing.
think
than
they
that.
think it's out
Oh,
of a
100%.
3-0. I think they think it's out of a 3-0.
Yeah, it's
But-
insane.
All right,
So
I'm
back to
sorry.
the original topic as to why this was all brought up. We drafted 6 fucking defensive players in a row, and
Yeah. Oh,
one of them, two
you
of them
cut
are
out.
still
You
there.
cut out.
When they drafted Darren Lee, I cried in my living room, frozen.
Dan,
again.
don't cry about first
feel
round
it.
draft picks, dude. Come on.
I cried over Darren Lee. Like I was sitting there. I get so into my Jets. It's like I
Yeah, you're
love
just a
them and I
bitch.
hate them.
So I'm
when
very
they-
happy
when
with
they
the Panthers
lost to the
picks.
When they lost to the Buffalo Bills,
Yeah,
a couple years ago,
I don't even want to hear from you, Will.
yeah, fuck off, Will. When they lost to the
Like the
Buffalo
Panthers,
Bills a
you
couple
forgot
years
that.
ago with Fitzpatrick and Marshall and Decker to get eliminated from the playoffs, Fitzpatrick throws the last play of the season to fucking Kembrell Tompkins. He tries to spin before he catches the ball and he drops it. If he caught it and then spun it to touchdown and we're in the playoffs, I had to leave the room. We had like 15, 20 people at my house. I left the room, went downstairs, locked my door, and cried for like 20 minutes. I couldn't do it
done?
anymore. I went.
Yeah,
oh
you're
my
just
God.
you're just a bitch. So the
you done?
Panthers.
Love the Jets.
Okay, Will, we get it. You got Derek Brown. He's a stud, and
Another DN, Tergros Matos. I don't even know how to fucking pronounce it.
oh, you got him.
Yeah, we got 2
Penn
DNs.
State?
Mouthful.
We went D lineman and DN, and then we got Jeremy Chin. This kid reminds me of Cam Chancellor. Not gonna lie,
Yeah.
big-bodied safety, comes up and just lays the stick on people, like
Yeah.
big boy, 6'3", 220.
Where is he? Let's see.
His mom's yelling.
Yeah, that's my mother. Yeah. Yeah.
That's your mom.
Yeah, that's my mother. Yeah.
Roxanne.
So
That's what
the
happens.
Parents,
That's what happens when you have two idiot brothers. That's what happens.
Before we move on, I want to say one thing, Greg. You saw this live. Speaking of parents, the funniest moment of the draft
Oh, that was
happened
hilarious.
last night in my house. My dad, we pick Mekhi Becton, and you know how like his dad was there, like the dad was standing up, the huge fucking guy with the gray hair, and he like leaned down to hug him. He comes on the screen. My dad goes, "What the fuck did we just pick?" I was like, "We just
Yeah,
picked an
yeah, that was
offensive
big.
lineman." He goes, "This guy's
That
got
was great.
50, he's
That
got
was
gray hair.
great.
He's like 600 pounds. He's on my 600-pound weight." I'm like, "Dad, that's his father." He's sitting on the couch. He goes, "No, that's fucking him. Why would we fucking pick him?" I'm like, "Dad, that's not him." And he just wouldn't listen to me. This was going on for like 10 minutes. He just was convinced that Mekhi Becton's dad was who we drafted.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
the funniest thing ever. Oh my God.
That's great. Okay. I feel like that's enough draft coverage for now.
I want to talk about
That's
one
good.
thing that I think is a really underrated pick right now, and that's the 49ers trading
Oh.
their first round and then drafting Javon Kinlaw because they lost to
Dude,
Forrest Buckner.
that line is so scary.
They
It's so
lost the D
scary.
tackle and just brought another comparable skill level defensive tackle right into Phil's spot.
Yeah,
And,
and
dude,
it's cheaper because they're gonna have
It's
to
so
start
much
paying
cheaper.
people.
have you seen the film on Javon Kinlaw too?
He's
He-
unbelievable.
He,
Dude,
he's
a
scary.
beast.
He's
a
scary.
beast.
He's unreal. But the other thing, I said this to Andrew when we were on the Instagram Live last night too. I don't give a shit who you have. If you have Jimmy Garoppolo under center, you're not winning a Super Bowl.
He just went to the Super Bowl.
And did he win?
No, but there's a pretty
They're not gonna
fucking
win.
good team.
I just don't think he's a good enough quarterback. They
The
rely
reason
on
they-
the run, and that's a
The
great
reason
thing,
they
but teams
lost
can
that
start to
Super
key in
Bowl
on
is
that.
because of Patrick Mahomes, like solely.
And because
Yeah.
they didn't. And
They put up
because,
what was it? 24
I-
points?
Yeah,
20?
but Shanahan didn't adjust his play calling at the end of the game when the Chiefs cued in on the run. He just kept trying to run because they don't have faith in Garoppolo either.
It's not true. It's just running out
And the
clock.
Chiefs, but he still ran the ball when they were down. That's
Is
what I'm
it-
saying. He didn't
but-
adjust.
I don't know.
Listen, I don't think Jimmy
Can't blame it on
Garoppolo
Garoppolo though.
is the greatest quarterback ever, but I don't think he's bad. Like I don't think he can't win a Super Bowl. Like
I think he still has to prove a lot for me.
I
to
think he
believe
can,
he's-
and also, not to mention, the 49ers just got Brandon Ayuk from Arizona State, who's an absolute
Yeah.
stud. So
I think he's just got to prove more to me.
now you have Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Raheem Mostert, Tevin Coleman, and Matt Breida all over the field. So
But you also don't need to be like a Hall of Fame quarterback to win a Super Bowl. Like look at Trent Dilfer.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying. He's got to
Trent
prove more to
Dilfer
me.
went and won a Super Bowl. Joe Flacco went and won a Super Bowl.
and Joe Flacco wasn't even that it's not even like he was crazy good. Like
Don't throw shade here. Terry Bradshaw won 4 Super Bowls. One of the worst quarterbacks to win a Super Bowl.
Agreed.
Jimmy G
I'm just
making
saying he's-
137.5 mil.
I'm just saying Jimmy G's got to prove more to me that he can be, the guy for a team to win a Super Bowl. I just don't see it.
I don't think so. He just
I
took a
think he
team
has
to the
more
Super Bowl.
options. He's gonna have way more options this year.
Then what? Last year where you had Debo, Kittle, Mostert, Coleman, Breida, Sanders.
Emmanuel
and his-
Sanders is at the end of his career, and he is absolutely washed.
I mean, he had a pretty good year for him last
He's-
year.
I- To work
After
out.
he got traded there.
I think he's washed. Yeah, but I think that's good draft for now.
Yay.
All right, time to talk about
Santa
Tom Brady
Ryan.
and Gronkowski.
All
Now
right,
it's a
guess I'm out of here
conspiracy
again.
theory.
Guess I'm out of here again.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
you know what? But before we talk about the whole Gronkowski trade, let's talk about Tom Brady walking into the wrong house.
His
Tampa,
OC's
when he
neighbor's
tried
house.
to go visit his OC. Now, what is your reaction if Tom Brady randomly walks into your house? Him and the homeowner literally came face to face.
I wouldn't notice. I wouldn't if it was me because I don't watch football.
You would notice.
I would no. I
Yes,
would
you
not
would.
notice. No.
we mute him?
I
Yeah,
wouldn't.
let's
would-
mute Weezy.
Can we mute him?
Why?
my
Why?
God, I
think
I'm
he's-
making the podcast. I can shut this shit off right now. You guys can go fuck yourselves.
I would make that guy a nice cup of coffee, sit down, and talk about life. That's
Dude,
what I
he'd
would
be
do.
like, I gotta go by.
I'd be
I
like,
think
hey,
what Ryan means by he wouldn't notice it is he would notice that there was someone in his house, but he would have no fucking clue.
Oh
who it
no.
was.
That's what I mean. Like I would notice
Yeah.
there's some motherfucker in the house, but like if Tom Brady came face to face with me, bro, the man's like probably what 6'2", 6'5"? I
he's
don't know.
6'5". I think.
He's
Oh, that's a
6'5"?
big difference. 6'2" and 6'5".
I have no
I think he's
fucking clue.
6'5".
Bro, dude,
Jabari's a nigga.
so like if he walked in the house, I'd be like, yo, this is a tall ass motherfucker.
Well, I
That's
mean,
the only thing
Tom-
I'd say.
I feel like Tom Brady is a pretty noticeable guy.
I don't
feel
like, but like maybe
I
like
feel like
after
you don't
the
need
fact.
to know football to know Tom Brady.
You
Like,
don't.
I mean, he
It's
was
Thomas Brady.
Okay,
If
but
I
guess
saw
what?
Tom
Like,
Brady, I would know it was Tom Brady.
That's the difference between me and you. I don't watch sports. Like I see if I see someone's face,
You don't need to watch
I'm gonna
you don't
think
need
it's
to watch
anybody
sports
else.
to know who Tom Brady
I'm gonna
is.
think it's somebody else.
To live in the world.
I'm gonna think it's somebody else. Dude, it could be anybody who just fucking breaks into my house. Alright? I'm not gonna excuse me. It's not gonna be like the yeah, thank you. It's I should have done the bless me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kept going. But like I wouldn't notice it was him because I could think it was anybody. Like it could be like anybody could have like Billy Joel could have walked in my house and been like, "Oh shit, sorry, wrong house."
Giselle walked
Like-
into my
like-
house. I would know who she was.
I don't even- I don't know who Giselle
I don't
is.
know like how that whole exchange went.
Giselle?
Like no. The whole exchange between Tom Brady and this guy.
You're gonna wait. Are you gonna tell me that you know who Giselle Bundchen is, but you don't know who Tom Brady is?
I don't know who
the
that
fuck
is.
Giselle Bundchen is.
No, I said that. I said
You
I
don't
would
know who
even-
Giselle Bundchen is?
No.
Oh,
you think I-
Supermodel
God.
woman.
God.
Do you think I live
I
over
know,
a
like, I
rock?
know the name.
I live under
I
a
know
rock.
the name. I just don't know what she looks like. Like I wouldn't be able to pick her out of a crowd.
She's gorgeous.
Look her up.
Gorgeous, man.
Tom Brady's wife.
We have a Google machine.
Gorgeous.
Do I have
I'm just saying, like I know the name, but like if she walked into my house, I'd have no idea who the fuck she was.
Oh,
All
I
right.
would know.
That's exactly what I mean.
Oh, I would know.
So literally, like, take what Dan's saying right now, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if somebody walked in my house, I would not assume it's fucking anybody famous. You know what I
I
mean?
spelled her name so wrong.
What did you spell it?
I spelled it Giselle
B-U-N.
Bunchman. No, I spelled it Bunchman.
Wow.
Giselle
my
Bunch
God.
of Men.
No, but I honestly want to know like how that whole entire exchange went between.
I'm sure
Tom
soon he'll
Brady
do an interview on it.
and the homeowner. I'm like, what is your reaction?
I want to know.
Like,
He
what is your
didn't-
actual reaction to that?
I
The
think he
homeowner
posted a
probably-
tweet about it.
the
I think he
homeowner
posted
will
a
probably be
tweet.
on the-
Yeah.
Sorry, Dan.
No, it's alright. I think he posted a tweet basically saying like, yeah, I walked downstairs and all of a sudden fucking Tom Brady was here. Like,
That's great. That's so
That'd be
great.
awesome.
But he's also got to realize, like, okay, I live next to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive coordinator. Like, it's probably not a small house.
Yeah, that's what I
The
mean. Like,
guy's probably pretty wealthy, I would
Yeah.
say.
yeah, but
Yeah,
we also
it's
got
a pretty nice neighborhood.
too.
but
I
where?
would say it's a pretty wealthy
where do-
neighborhood.
Where do these guys live?
Like,
From-
doors always are unlocked and shit like that.
people-
We got to
know.
talk about something else here too, because there's another story that's going on. Does Tom Brady suffer from like amnesia or some shit? Because this guy just got written up for playing football in a closed park last week. Like
Well,
he's getting old. He's taking a
I
couple
mean-
shots to the head. Do we think he's okay?
He's an NFL quarterback. The guy's
He's-
gonna
If
work
I was
out.
Tom Brady, I would do whatever the fuck I wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you can't do that. But it's like
He's
it's
by
a different.
himself.
He's Tom Brady.
But it's closed.
So?
He's
It doesn't
by
matter.
himself.
Alright,
If
the
I
one
was-
guy,
doesn't
the one
matter.
guy bringing a fucking gun on a plane thought it was okay.
No, he
Oh,
was
shit,
just fucking
That's
brain
just
dead.
pure stupidity. He's a fucking moron.
He's just brain dead.
Yeah,
Tom
I don't
Brady, it's
support
just
like
Tom.
that's one thing I don't get about like so let's say it's like an open field. An open field. You can't go and play on that?
Wait, but doesn't Tom Brady
You're
have
by
like
yourself.
a huge house?
Yo, I just saw a TikTok that someone was on a jet ski and got a ticket because the
Yeah,
fucking
I
lake
saw
was
that.
closed.
How do you
Wait.
close a lake? How do you close? You have a dock. You have a dock,
all they
and you
can
go
do.
into the lake. What else are you gonna
The
do?
lake was closed. The kid got a ticket for being on his jet ski.
Yo, real
Fuck
quick,
that.
real quick.
Then he dressed up in a hazmat suit and a
That is-
Tyvek and a full face mask
That's
and went
great.
jet
That's
skiing.
great.
That's
I
the
applaud it.
but the
I
thing is-
applaud it.
that is the most
If
socially
I can find it,
distancing
I'll send
thing
it to you,
that you
Greg.
could do. That is the most socially distancing thing you could do.
Exactly.
You
You're
are
by
literally
yourself.
away from people, maybe by like a good mile.
Yo, real quick, Tom
I
Brady.
didn't like it,
Tom
Greg.
Brady did tweet. He said, "Trespassing in parks, breaking and entering, just making myself at home in Tampa Bay."
That's great. That is
That
awesome.
shit's good.
Oh my god.
That shit's funny.
Okay, so a little more Tom Brady related news. Do we smell collusion with Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski?
Hell yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Oh yeah.
Can you
It's not
explain
even a
this?
question.
Can
I'm
you
excited
explain-
to see it.
All right, can you explain it to the viewers that
Of
have
course,
no
of
idea what
course,
you're
of
talking about,
course,
and also
Of
me?
course.
Thank
All
you.
right. So
Yes.
so Tom Brady got signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then Rob Gronkowski gets traded to the Buccaneers and comes out of retirement. So my conspiracy theory is that Rob Gronkowski knew that the Patriots were not good enough to win a Super Bowl, right? So he
Yeah.
retires, builds up his health a little bit, comes back mentally a little bit stronger, goes and parties, has fun a little bit, whatever. Says to Tom Brady, wherever you go, we'll try and finagle a trade in there because I still have 1 year left on my contract. Because some people who retire just like cancel the rest of their contracts,
Yeah.
or whatever, they just get paid up front. No. So Tom Brady gets there, says that he wants to be a part of big time decisions for the team, right? So
Like LeBron.
like LeBron, coincidentally, okay, this guy's retired. We don't have to give up a first round pick. We don't have to trade one of our top guys. We don't have to give a lot of money, whatever. They get him for a fourth round pick, and they get him and a pick in return.
Yeah.
Gronk comes
No,
out of
so-
retirement. They save money. There's still a year left on his
Yeah,
contract.
yeah. So
And-
that's the
and-
thing.
And Gronkowski was talking to Tom Brady 2 months ago and said,
Mhm.
I'm thinking about coming out of retirement.
Yeah, like he's been like hinting at it, like coming back and everything. and I'm excited to see like how it's gonna be in Tampa Bay, like him coming out, because you saw Gronk in retirement. That dude was having the time of his life.
I mean, he was also low key, probably privately working out and staying fit,
without a doubt,
and working on his ball skills.
He's still fucking huge.
Gronk,
Dude, the guy's a massive.
He joined the WWE.
Yeah, well,
he joined the
Gronk
WWE. Currently, 24/7 champion in the WWE, and as per the rules of the 24/7
he has to defend it.
WWE, he has to defend it at any location at any time. So he's currently in the NFL with Tom Brady on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he's also a champion in the World Wrestling Entertainment WWE.
Yeah.
So it's insane. I mean, he was also on The Masked Singer. I mean, he wasn't that good, but he was on The Masked Singer.
Well, there's obviously no doubt that he was staying fit. Because Gronk isn't just a person. That guy's a full-on brand. Like you just see that guy, and it's like, oh, Gronk, he's just this gigantic white dude that just like is just absolutely yoked. So
you could have missed that guy walking into your house.
Oh, you couldn't. You
can't mistake him.
I could kick his ass, dude. 6'6".
You wouldn't be able to hit water if you fell out of a boat, dude. Come on.
Oh man. Okay, so I mean, that's the Gronk trade.
But real quick before we move on, I wanted to let you guys talk about that whole thing. Now this is not going to be a popularly talked about, part of this trade, because why would it be? But it's something that I've been wondering. What happens with his WWE contract? Can they kind of like cancel this? Like, and he'd be like, no, like, you have a contract with us.
No,
he's got to defend the belt.
He still has a contract. You could defend the belt at any time.
Yo, he's gonna get jumped in the parking lot after one of the games. I'm telling you.
Yeah, right.
It's just like,
what
how
WWE
can he have
thing?
multiple contracts?
Well, you're not paying attention.
What?
No, I wasn't paying attention.
Where are you, Ryan?
I have no idea.
What
What
are you doing?
Lay in the bed.
You got a piece of cake?
No.
Because like,
him.
Piece of cheesecake?
So it's like,
so who are we talking about right now?
I could kill for some cheesecake. So my thing is like, he has a contract with the WWE, and like,
who?
let's say also
Gronkowski.
Let's say he's like, Tampa's playing a game in fucking LA, but the same day he's playing a game in LA, they want him to defend the title in Pennsylvania from some random state, for fuck's sake. What happens there? Like, that's a breach of contract. But if he goes to the WWE, that's a breach of contract with his NFL contract. It seems like a very confusing mixture.
You have two different contracts. Is it like the WWE? Yes, it's like.
But the WWE, so the WWE is all planned out in advance.
Yeah,
like, it's not like Gronk just did that to have fun. Like, it's all scripted shit.
No,
Gronk knows when he's gonna lose the belt. It's all scripted. He'll probably be in a close city, or they probably have it scripted where he's going to his car after a game in Tampa Bay, and two WWE stars are gonna jump him and one's gonna pin him. Possibly. It's probably all scripted.
And then that ends his contract.
Yeah, that ends his contract. Right. A referee's gonna hop out of the car in Tampa Bay fucking stadium. Then a WWE wrestler's gonna come out, hit Gronk over the back of the head with a chair, pin him, or hit him with a helmet. I don't know, something, and pin him.
Bro, I watched this shit when I was a kid, and I was like, no, this is so real. This is so real. I look at it today, I'm like, wow, I'm just as stupid as fucking Quinn and Williams. How would I ever think it's so real?
Stop. WWE is fire.
Yo, some of that shit's real, bro.
Most of it's not.
Bro, they grab people by the shoulders and put their knees up and pull them down. Like, what? You can't fake that.
They don't fake blood. They don't fake that shit. They don't fake that stuff back in the day.
Blood's all real.
I mean, yes. Granted, they did have like razor blades like in their wrists.
They can't. They legally can't do that anymore.
The refs hand them like razor blades. They like slit their head a little bit. Yeah, but like they're still fucking cut. Like
that's
Foley.
Fucking psycho.
Hold on,
they can't do that anymore. Andrew,
volunteer for that.
No, I know that. I'm just saying, like,
they get paid. They don't volunteer.
Fucking Mick Foley.
Still
like,
voluntarily sticks your head open.
Mick Foley is a fucking beast. Just look.
Did you know he lives by Ward Melville High School?
Yeah, I know that. He's a
schmuck. He's a Long Island schmuck.
My cousin lives like 4 houses down from him.
Long Island schmuck. Let's get him on the pod.
My cousin lives in the same.
That'd be tight.
My cousin lives in the same regency as him.
On the pod.
4 houses down.
We're getting him on the pod. It's official.
What?
Let's get him on
the
pod.
Word is Regency a word?
I think we'll just make that up. I think we'll
Regency?
just.
I don't
That,
think that's
that is a
word.
word. Yes, Dan. That is an English word.
It
Yes.
sounds
Wait, I
like you
got
made that up.
I want you to look up Regency.
I don't even know how to spell that, dog.
What's next on the
Is
agenda?
Complex is complex good for you, Dan?
Greg, hold
The
on.
office of or period of government by a region.
I don't know. There's like a housing complex called the Regency by me. It's just a fucking one way in, one way out, and there's a bunch of houses in there. I don't know what the fuck you want me to tell you.
You
The
lied.
Hyatt Regency.
Hyatt Regency.
What the fuck does that mean?
It's a hotel.
Regency architecture
Alright, sorry, I don't got
encompasses
5-star
classical
taste over here.
buildings
Balling
built
on a
in the
budget.
UK during the Regency era in the early 19th century when George IV was Prince Regent, and also to earlier and later buildings following the same style.
Jesus
You're welcome.
Christ, get the.
Can you just like look up Regency Bohemia?
This
Like,
isn't an
I'm going
English
to get a fucking-
podcast.
I'm going to get a beer. This is making me want to drink.
I have Jack right now.
Okay, so see you, Dan.
I'm
You're
alright.
welcome.
Now what's
So,
next? What's next
What
on
are
the
we
list?
talking
what's
about
next on the agenda, my producer?
Oh, I have no fucking clue, dog. I'm the producer, not the fucking everything else. I'm not a director.
Get up, Weezy.
Good
I'm not a
job.
director. I don't get paid to do this. I volunteer my
man.
life.
So what's going on in our lives this week besides obviously all the NFL drafts and just chilling?
I mean, like, for me, it's really just hanging out with my dog, playing video games, get this 1v1 tournament happening. I don't know if we want to mention that. We got a 1v1 tournament with a bunch of friends. I got a worse Will. I got a worse Willie do-over. He's scared shitless.
Fine, you're on a PC, bud.
Hey, I'll still kick your ass. Did you get in that 1v1, by
One
the way,
thing
Andrew?
I want to add right now is I said this on last week's podcast on episode 1, the definition of a schmuck.
Out now.
If out right now.
Of course. Why would we put up with a 2 up and not?
Yeah.
Go on,
if you guys have videos of just absolute schmucks on Long Island, send them through. And we'll talk about the videos and we'll pub them on the podcast.
Anybody's a schmuck.
Jake was supposed to send Dan some videos.
You can't rely on Jake.
Jake
I'm gonna
who?
text him right now.
Wait, Jake who?
It's ridiculous.
You don't know.
I was hoping for some videos to upload to YouTube this week so we could maybe talk about it.
Dan, wasn't Jake supposed to send you some videos?
Jake's supposed to send me some videos of what? Oh, of Sir Doc. Yeah, he didn't do it.
Yeah, that one.
Jake's a fucking schmuck, bro. I don't know. What
That's a
the fuck.
schmuck, exactly. He just send a video of himself talking.
Dan, is that a Montauk Seltzer or just a Montauk?
Montauk Wave Chaser IPA.
Alright, awesome.
Ooh,
I
yeah.
wish. I don't have any beer.
IPA, time to slay.
I don't have
Dude,
any
Liz,
beer.
yo, Liz blessed up. So she heard me.
I just need my
drop
bros, my hoes, and my mimos.
something.
Mimosas.
Mimosas.
Dude, she heard me drop like a little hint, like I wanted one of these for summer.
That's sick.
So she just like went out of her way, bought this, and got me a 6-pack of fucking Montauk's to go with it. I was like, bet, let's
Very
get
nice.
it.
By
Gonna
the
get
way,
hammered in my
that,
basement by myself.
that kind of reminds me. If you guys are watching at all or listening in on Spotify, we would like some ads and just to partner with
Greg's trying to get money.
Long Island based.
Greg's poor, everybody.
Yeah, exactly. I'm poor. I would like some money, and also it gives your brand, whoever you are, some exposure on the internet. So
Yeah.
hit us up.
We don't even need
Schmucks.
money. If anything, a shout out will do. That's
Exactly.
like, you know,
Whether it be
we're
a shout
playing
out or
easy.
if like you want to
You
like
send
if
in-
you want to show your brand off, send some hats.
Yes.
Exactly.
Seriously.
Send some stuff. We'll say a script or something about you, and just tell the viewers
Scripts.
what you're all about.
Script, this is a very organic show.
Send
How
me a
dare
headband.
Ryan.
We don't do scripts here.
Send me a headband. I will wear it. I promise.
Dude,
Yeah,
once
that
I get the
headband's gotta come off.
once I get the webcam going, all I have is headphones. So like, I don't know, headband,
happening.
headphones. Headband, headphones for me.
Yeah.
Andrew, are we gonna rock the headbands together?
Oh, easy.
Hey, shut the fuck up.
No.
I was gonna say before that we recorded to not call me Wheezy, but I forgot to change the
roll
picture.
with it, dude. You gotta roll with
Yeah,
it.
you're getting cold
You
wheezy.
gotta roll.
Roll
with
with the punches,
You gotta roll
dog.
with it.
I
Roll
gotta
with
roll with the
punches.
punches.
Yo, Weezy,
Fuck.
Weezy,
Gotta give
you
a
actually,
nickname.
Wazy, do you actually want to talk about that weed video and like give a nice synopsis and your opinions on it?
I
and
didn't
shit
watch
like that?
the whole thing. I have to. I mean, like, I just. I have a.
And you want to talk about it? You got to do your research.
I
You
never
didn't
fucking
watch
said I wanted to talk about it. You guys said you wanted to talk about it.
So, I've been a Prince EA fan for a very long time. He's a YouTuber. He's kind of like a motivational speaker. Like he kind of highlights like social issues, I guess. If you guys don't know who he is by name, I'm sure most people have seen the "I just sued the school system" video. It went viral when we were
Wait,
still
what
in
was
high
the?
school.
Who's the YouTuber again? I'm sorry.
Prince EA. Well, he posted that in 2016, so you're gonna be better off finding it on Instagram compared to YouTube.
Okay.
Um, so he's a former rapper, but he hated the music industry. He thought it was going in the complete wrong direction. He hated everything that it stood for. So he kind of took his, musical talents and put it towards like what he thinks is a greater good. And I wrote a speech on him last semester or last year. I don't remember when I took public speaking, but for one of my classes, he was basically saying how like, the whole legalization of marijuana should just be done. And the video is awesome. I wish we could show it, but we're like we said, it's only our second episode, so we're still figuring everything out how we're gonna be able to do that.
I feel like it's just.
I'll have that technology soon.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Dan, but I feel like it's just New York who has it legalized. Like I don't.
No, what?
There's
only
like
3 or 4 states that have
What?
legalized it.
no, they have
Yeah,
a
there's
bunch
only,
of states.
No, dude, there's only a couple.
Washington,
only, like,
D.C.
a handful.
DC
DC's
legalized
not
it.
a state.
DC's not a
Oh
state.
well, DC's not a state, but still, that area legalized it. Boston
Technically, it's legal in New York as well. Like
has to be medicinal though.
Medically.
it's
has to
medically
be.
legal.
It has to be CBD. I'm pretty sure, right?
So wait,
No, that's
hold up,
medically
hold up.
allowed.
Oh, okay.
Before we go even further, wait, Dan. So I'm kind of confused. Like, what I didn't watch the video either. You're the one who watched it. What did the guy actually stand for? Like, did he think that weed should be legalized everywhere, or it should?
Yeah. So basically, what he was saying is like, weed has been like marijuana has been proven to give so many benefits to things, whether it be health or just like focus or creativeness and all this stuff. And like he brought up examples. He's like, how are you going to say that it stunts creativeness when people like Steve Jobs and like he was just listing off these creators of these huge companies. He was like, and like it was all in a song. So like if you want to watch it, it's probably better than just hearing just a verbal description because it's an incredible video. But he was like, how are you going to say it stunts creativity and like stops you from clear thinking when you have people like Steve Jobs and like he listed like 3 other CEOs of like some of the biggest companies in America. He was like, they were smoking this while they were creating their company and their brand.
Now, what?
So that right off the bat is bullshit. And he just like kept going on.
Yeah.
What areas did have it legalized though? What areas do have it legalized currently?
Hold on, I have the map right now. Okay.
Colorado.
I know it's Massachusetts, Colorado, and I believe California.
Okay, so it's fully legal in Alaska. It's fully legal in California, Nevada,
Surprised about Alaska, actually.
Oregon, Washington, Colorado, of course, Illinois, Michigan,
Mile High City.
Vermont, Maine, Massachusetts, and the District of Columbia. That's fully legal everywhere. And it's like this is like a whole map. It tells you keys of either legalized. I just named all the legalized. It has medical and decriminalized. It has medical, decriminalized, or fully illegal.
Now, is New York even decriminalized?
Yes, New York
So-
decriminalized it.
Okay.
It's
So-
medically so. If you have a medical license that you can smoke weed, you're allowed to also grow a certain amount of it. Like,
Okay,
it's not
but
just
that's-
like you're allowed to just like smoke
That's
it or have
that's
it.
with medical. We
So
don't
right
need to talk
now-
about medical right now. We're talking about
that's legal.
recreational. I understand, but we're talking
but
about
it all
recreational.
relates, Ryan.
We're just
all
talking about
relates.
weed. We're not just talking about recreational.
general.
Oh.
The right now the legal status in New York is mixed. It's literally called mixed. It's medicinal is yes and decriminalized
And
is yes.
it's decriminalized. You could have up to like 6 grams on you or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's only like a ticket.
Yeah.
And
6
so
grams is a lot.
another interesting part of this conversation, which I actually learned from another class last semester, my business law class, even in the states where it's recreationally legalized, it's still technically not legal because it's written in the Constitution and it's still federally illegal. So what these places that sell like marijuana for recreational use, when they file their taxes and do their returns and all that shit, they can't do it online. They have to basically clean their money and have it sent in a truck to the Federal Reserve. in order to get their taxes in and like get their returns
sent
and
to the
everything.
IRS.
It's still shady, like because
Yeah.
it's not fully that business is not fully operational
The
yet
thing
to
is-
the point of where
They
it's
can't put
federally
their
okay.
money. They
What-
can't put their money in a bank because it's illegal money, so the bank will not take it.
Well, the
'Cause
thing that
it's
doesn't
still
make
considered a class 1 drug.
the thing that doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense to me is how when was it written in the Constitution? Because I want to go off on this if someone's got a reply for me.
I don't know, but it's a class 1
No idea.
federal drug, which means it's basically the worst. It's classified as the worst drug that you could possibly have. So like class 5 or class 4, whatever it is like Robitussin and stuff like that. Then class 4 is like I don't even know, like shrooms and stuff like that.
Class 4
How is
shrooms and class
marijuana?
1 is, oh my lord.
Dude, class 2 is
Shrooms,
class 2 is heroin, and then class 1 is cocaine and marijuana. I forget
That's
what
so
like the
dumb.
statistics are.
I think the reason why is because a lot of federal cases with that is because cocaine and marijuana are the most common
Cartel.
for cartel and just that shit's bought in like dealt in like bulk.
Bulk.
Alright,
You're
can
talking
I-
serious
You can
amount of
send
money.
a lot. So like the federal government is prepared for a shit ton of marijuana or cocaine, but not heroin.
Now,
So, like,
But
can I go off on that, or will you got something to say?
go for
No,
it.
go ahead.
Okay, so if it was written in the Constitution that say it was illegal, right? I remember someplace in the video or somewhere I was reading that before around 1940s, right? It was legal. Am I right about that?
Well, you could also make the case that they used to put cocaine in like actual
Coca-Cola, yeah, because
it's you're talking a different time period. There wasn't enough data on it. There wasn't research on it. They didn't know what it did, what it didn't do. They still don't know what it does and doesn't do.
I mean,
Like-
it's exactly the same thing with alcohol. They had the prohibition of alcohol from I don't know the years off the top of my head, but how long was it? Like half a decade, a little longer?
I don't know.
No one knows on top of their head. Andrew?
It doesn't really matter, but like
I'm
we
not
get the
sure.
point.
Yeah, so like this shit is it's
13 years.
13 years? Okay, but like the 13 years that alcohol was illegal, like, and then it legalized, it's like alcohol is so much worse than marijuana. So much worse. People have liver failure. People have A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You know, like you could make the argument that people who smoke marijuana, yes, have that, you know, lack of motivation, could also get lung cancer and shit like that. But like, I don't know. This like legalization of weed just does not, like, the people that are against it. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like you're living in the past. You know what I mean?
So here's my feeling. I don't think that I mean, like, you are right with the whole alcohol thing, but it's the medical, like, because if we legalize it, the amount of weed that is actually going to be brought through this country is absolutely insane. And think about like people coming across the border.
I don't think
like,
people. I don't think
They're not going to be able to stop them for that shit because
No, I don't.
So-
because
Unless what they
know.
do
Oh, yes,
is
they
they
will.
have.
Yes, they will.
Unless they have the like intercontinental like trafficking laws. Like
No, it's gonna be just like a gun. It's gonna be just like a gun. You have to be a licensed dealer of it, just like it is now in states that are legal.
yeah.
You can't just bring over 100 pounds of weed. You can't even get on a plane with over $10,000. They're like, what the fuck are you doing?
yeah, so
It's not like you could just hop on a plane with 15 pounds of weed and say, all right, see you later. Like you could probably bring maybe a baggie with you. You could probably bring maybe, a quarter of an ounce max, like driving somewhere. You can't drive around through New York City with a loaded fucking gun.
Yeah. So now
It's
like,
going to be like that.
so one of the points that he makes in the video as well. Sorry, Greg. I know I cut you off, but
it's fine.
one of the points that he made as well is like before the 1930s, like Ryan was saying, it was legal and nobody had even heard the word marijuana. Like that was a made up name for it to make it sound more like devilish than it was, quote
Yeah.
unquote, by the drug commissioner that they put in. So, and another thing is like to your point, Greg, like with the whole border thing,
Mhm.
what they also say, which is something that I believe for a couple of years now too, is if it becomes legalized, the market becomes regulated, so it's going to be safe.
yeah,
You know,
and
like
then
it's not like you're buying from some random dude on a street corner
Yeah.
who might have fucking PCP laced in the joint with it.
Dan, may
So
I?
one, it's regulated,
Yeah.
and two, you're gonna eliminate like at least one part of the cartel that could be fucking with America.
See,
You also eliminate a
Also,
lot
it's
of debt.
legal. Yeah, and that's the tax revenue.
The-
Look at Colorado.
It gets
They
taxed
make
so high.
but Colorado makes millions in like revenue from legalized marijuana.
Yeah.
That their taxes, I think, are one of the lowest in the countries now because of it.
if they legalize it in New York, there's no way that any of our taxes are going to be any lower. They're just going to pocket the money like they do now.
No, they can't do that. If it's legalized, it has to go through normal state taxation and
I don't know
regular,
anything
like,
about
financial
tax.
regulations.
I don't know anything about taxes, so
So really quick,
Our taxes are going to skyrocket because of this whole
That's how
virus
it
thing.
is,
So you can
man.
forget about lower taxes.
this article that I just pulled up, June 12th, 2019. Colorado passes a $1 billion in marijuana state revenue. Colorado revenue from marijuana sales experienced its two highest grossing months in April and May, with roughly $24 million in total state revenue from cannabis each month, in both months. It took the state roughly 3.5 years to reach the $500 million mark in total state revenue from marijuana sales. Their sales contribute to the state's general revenue, reserve fund, as well as education and healthcare, including mental health services and young drug prevention programs.
now what about California?
Hold on.
Because California, there's that's gotta be. If Colorado passed $1 billion, it said.
Yeah.
I swear, if Colorado passed a billion, then I think California would have to pass like 2 or 3 billion. There's
But
no.
I think in California, it's a newer, like it. I can't think of the word, but it's like a newer, like I guess legalized product. Colorado was the first to do it
Yeah.
by far, so it's like it's an aged industry.
Colorado was also
Colorado.
thinking about
Well, like,
legalizing like all the psychedelics too.
So like just for me personally, like with the whole like weed thing, like I really don't really like give a shit, to be honest, just because like I'm not a weed smoker. Like I've tried it.
Neither am I.
Not for me at all. Don't enjoy it at all. I get the medical benefits of it because Will, I'm sure you can attest to that. Recipes Black Hawk. So
I mean, even CBD, Dan.
it's
I'm
something
Greg.
that no, like I'm there is there is benefits to it.
No, I'm just
But
saying like CBD
I just think
is so
everyone,
helpful.
a lot of people are going to take advantage of it to the point of ridiculous and kind of go off on the wrong end.
Oh, I don't think
Excuse
so at
me.
all because I feel
I
like
don't know.
with
I think people
that
are going to go off on the wrong end.
I feel like if once it's legalized, it will be sort of brought to this different
Yeah, but then
standards
people
where
can
it's at
do it
now.
whenever the hell they want.
Yes,
and
but it'll
it's
be-
gonna just
but it'll
fuck-
be brought to a different
it's gonna
standard.
fuck with their mind.
It's gonna be
But
brought to a
Greg-
different standard though.
Yeah,
and
that's
even that, if they fix those side effects that come with it because it's legalized, like there could be so there's
Weed
so
is
much
weed. It's literally a natural like
Substance.
substance.
but
Exactly. It's a natural substance.
I mean,
But if you think
Andrew.
about
You
it,
can't.
It's a fucking plant.
yeah, but like
Plant.
that's
From
what
the
that's
other
what
side, though,
that's what
Greg,
GM's
when-
that's what's the genetically
Modified.
genetically modified stuff like products and stuff. Weed's gonna be one of those.
Genetically
Weed's gonna-
modified products aren't even good for you though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Like that,
but that's not
shown.
proven.
That's not good for you.
Don't be hating on the
Yeah, it
cotton candy
is.
grapes. Don't be hating on the cotton candy grapes.
so
But
GMOs
that's
are not good for you.
Greg, if you look at it from the other side as well, though, like, when you're in high school, 17, 18, 19, all you want to do is drink. Like, you want to go off the walls and drink.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then when you turn
Yeah.
21, like, it loses the excitement because it's legal.
Mhm.
So if you look at it from the other side, like, people want to smoke, like, yeah, the risk of getting caught, blah, blah, blah. Then when it's legal, the people who really, really enjoy it are still going to do it.
Yeah.
And they're going to be sane
Yeah.
because they're used to it. The people who don't really enjoy it, but they do it because they want to, because it's not allowed, just like drinking when you're younger than 21.
Yeah.
Like, I enjoy a drink just as much now since I'm 21 than I was before. But it's like a different feeling. It's not like as exciting. It's not like, I gotta go do this tonight.
You will really appreciate the product when you actually turn the age of 21 and it's
Yeah,
legal.
like it's
Yeah.
a different feeling.
I
It
think
is.
another big
It's very
issue
true, but-
is the jail aspect of it. So you're also gonna, yes, be releasing a lot of prisoners that are in for weed dealing, whatever, smuggling it, whatever, blah 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 blah. But you save a lot of money because you don't have to pay for those inmates. But now those guys are going to start smuggling other stuff.
Exactly.
They're going to start smuggling heroin. They're going to start dealing cocaine. They're going
Okay.
to start dealing crack.
Because also,
Then guess what?
the
That's their
value of
problem.
marijuana will
Will
go
decrease.
down, and then cocaine and all that other shit is gonna
Will go up.
and then
But-
it's gonna fuck a lot
Okay,
of people
but guess
over.
what? Those people are gonna do this. If someone wants to fucking smuggle stuff, someone's gonna smuggle stuff. You're not gonna stop that. If someone
Yeah,
goes to
but-
jail for
but-
2 years
but
and
it's gonna
smuggles,
decrease.
You'd rather someone smuggle weed than smuggle heroin across the border.
I don't give a shit. If
here's
someone
the-
wants to do
here's
But
heroin,
what
that's
are
up
you
to
talking
them.
about? You don't give a
Yeah,
shit.
should give a shit.
Why?
should give a
How?
shit about
Okay,
that.
okay,
Talking about
okay.
that was
Why? Because you're talking lives now. You're talking people dying. You're talking people ODing.
Yes.
You're talking.
But those are those are the people that are gonna, if someone wants to do heroin,
the
they're
money.
gonna do heroin.
The money.
That's
there
my-
is gonna-
that's my
the-
thing.
The difference in money there. Marijuana. The price of marijuana is going to go down, and everything else is going to go up. And the dealers are going to want to deal that shit instead because they know that they can get more money for it.
Okay, but
Now,
then the people that want to do those drugs are gonna do those drugs. That's my thing. If people want to go and go into that side,
You're not understanding. So that what they were saying before is that the fact that it's illegal makes people want to do it more. It gives people that drive, that adrenaline of, oh, where are we gonna go do this tonight?
yeah, but
Soon, that's gonna be all right. Where are we gonna go do coke tonight? Where are we gonna do shoot up tonight? Like
I don't
like
think so.
they're going.
Because all these things about shooting up is terrible.
Then why do
Cocaine
people
is
do it?
It
terrible.
doesn't
Then
matter
why do people
Because
do it?
people like
Long
to
Island-
drive.
Long Island is one of the highest rates has one of the highest rates
Heroin.
of heroin addicts.
Yes,
Yep.
of course, because those are the people that like are told, "Hey, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it," and then they do it because they just haven't gotten into their thick skulls that, hey, this is a bad substance for you and you shouldn't do it.
No, it's because they build a tolerance for it, and then people don't feel as good as they did when they first started smoking. So it's all right. I need something a little bit stronger. Let me try something else. Then they start working into
Those are
shrooms.
the
and
people that
acid.
shouldn't. Those are the people that shouldn't smoke. That's their problem. I'm sorry. That's my opinion.
You're just contradicting yourself now
I'm
because
not. No, I'm not.
you are.
How?
Because you were saying that those people are going to do those drugs anyway, but like they're not if weed is still around. Because-
I'm saying that okay, if weed is legal, right? People are
Yeah.
gonna smoke weed. That's just gonna be
Mhm.
legalized, all right? Yes, people get that drive of wanting to, do these drugs because they're illegal, but it's different with cocaine, different with heroin, different with all those things. People that have not learned that those are really bad drugs that are heavily addicted and you could die, like that's their own stupidity.
Doesn't matter. It's not. You
Does-
can see it. It's
so that-
not going to stop people from doing them.
Yeah,
It's not like
no one's
it's
gonna
not
stop.
like
No one's gonna
everyone
stop
that
anybody from
does
doing it.
heroin and cocaine is like a low life that's not like educated. It's like you have fucking millionaires that are doing cocaine. They're educated. They know how to run a business. They run a business. They make millions of dollars a year, but they do cocaine.
Okay,
They
then
know they know
So-
it's bad for them, but they still do it.
okay.
I wanted to comment on what you, Will, and you, Greg, said before with the whole you're letting these guys who smuggle out of jail and everything like that. Now, I completely agree with you, but the thing about it is like if they get let out of jail because weed has been legalized, right? They're now
Which
on
they
a watch
will.
list. Yeah, no, I agree, but they're now on a watch list, and they've been caught once. They'll probably be caught again if they're
Probably not on a watch list.
But you would assume now.
Is
Are
this-
you
it's
correct?
not
Yes,
even-
but
wait,
you would
is-
assume they should be on a watch list because
But
they've
they won't be.
smuggling
We
before.
we can't even background check every single person that buys a gun.
No, but I
We're
agree
not
with
gonna
you. I'm
have
saying,
You're talking probably a couple 100,000, maybe even 1,000,000 fucking people that are in jail for weed, or have charges for weed, or have court appearances for weed
Yeah. So
that haven't
so
come up
now
yet.
now
You're talking
now
so much shit.
and when they get released, the grade of that crime is going to be decreased, and they probably won't be on a watch list because that grade
It's not a
of
crime anymore.
that it's not considered a crime. So now, but also that person could look at drug dealers. Like they have to try to have a good record other than dealing. That person could be one of the most dangerous people in the world, and we
Okay.
don't know it.
But dealers
No,
are
but
gonna
then I
deal.
agree with you,
Smugglers
though.
are gonna smuggle.
But
People that
that's-
abuse drugs are gonna abuse drugs. It's just gonna happen. You can't stop it. So
I'm not
why
saying
are you
that
trying?
you're going to. I'm just saying that you're going to have a higher influx of worse drugs if weed is legalized.
Okay.
And I agree. I do agree with that to a point. But my thing is but my point and what I'm saying is like, these guys were dumb enough to be caught once, right? And the lower end smugglers, like if they smuggled like just a little bit, they won't be on a watch list. But if you're like what you guys are worried about too, and I understand your point completely. I'm not arguing with you about that at all.
Does anybody understand my point?
Worried about it. I'm just saying.
Guys who brought in like just fucking stupid amounts of bud, like stupid amounts of weed. The guys who brought in like a shit ton, they're gonna be like, all right, we should maybe watch out for them if this is legalized because they're trying to make money by doing this. They might try and bring in something else. So, like, if you see them on the street, like randomly, they're suddenly back. You're gonna be like, all right, maybe we should check this guy out. Check out what's going on.
You can't do that.
Right.
They're not actual criminals anymore.
Stop and frisk.
I need to understand this. Does anybody
like in the city, bro? Like when we went in the city to the St. Patrick's Day parade, they can't look in your shit unless you have.
They know it's alcohol.
And that fucking violent preacher got me a fucking ticket.
Yeah, like
piece of shit.
They can't just stop you and be like, "Hey, we're arresting you for weed because we just had this hunch." Like,
no, I'm not saying like I'm not necessarily saying like that. That's not what I meant. Let me clarify. I'm not saying like, oh, I see this guy. Let's just stop him and arrest him right here. I'm saying like, oh, you see him. Like, let's say I'm trying to say this in the most politically correct way possible.
No, just say
political correct.
Just say it.
Let's say this guy that we arrested in the U.S. for smuggling weed was from Mexico, and that's why I didn't want to say because I didn't want to be like a dick. But let's say he's from Mexico because
that's not. He's from Mexico. That's where he's from.
Mexico. That's fine.
Continue.
So let's say he's from Mexico, and then we release him and he has to go back there, and then suddenly we see him back in the States. I'm not saying it's like.
Well, he's illegal, so he should be arrested away.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're missing my point. What I'm trying to say is like I'm not saying it's like, all right, fuck this guy, let's arrest him because we caught him smuggling. I'm saying like, oh, he's back. Maybe we should investigate him a little bit.
Monitor.
Like,
but the thing is,
you have a reasonable cause to think that he could be doing something illegal based on his past record. Whether it be legal or not now, it was illegal at the time when
as much as that would make sense,
so
you can't do that.
It's still a crime.
Just because someone has a record doesn't mean you have reasonable cause to investigate them. Like people still have a right to privacy and a right to themselves.
There's way too many of those people.
All right,
yeah, way too many of them.
Can I understand this? Will, did you understand my point that I was trying to get across though before?
I honestly don't even remember what we were talking about.
It's a blur. We'll watch the playback. I think that was a good conversation about that.
Agreed.
Let's move on. Last Dance, biggest sports documentary to ever hit television.
Dude, one biggest thing that I took from that fucking documentary, the biggest thing that I took from those first two episodes is, well, first episode I didn't watch. The second episode my parents didn't want to watch. The second one they were tired.
The second episode was even better.
So, but the first episode, dude, the number one thing I took. Michael Jordan is the best player that has ever lived.
Oh, yeah.
That LeBron Michael debate is over because if Michael Jordan played in the era that LeBron plays in, he's averaging fucking 85 points a game.
Oh yeah.
Like this dude was getting elbowed in the dome.
I've always thought Michael Jordan was the best ever.
I have too, but there was always kind of like that reasonable doubt. Like LeBron is doing things that nobody else has ever done, this and that. But like you put Jordan and put him in this era of basketball, he's averaging 50 points a game minimum. He's unstoppable.
Think about it this way.
You could say the same thing about like Kareem.
Think about it this way.
There's always been an argument for him and
between
Michael,
LeBron.
Kareem has more points, assists, rebounds, blocks, steals, like everything.
Ready? You could just think about it this way between LeBron and Michael Jordan. Say we're talking to the same girl, okay? I go over her house. I smash 6 out of 6 times. And you smash 3 out of 6 times. Who's the GOAT? Who's the GOAT? Who's the GOAT? Who's the GOAT? Who is the GOAT?
Wait, in the end, you both still smashed.
Yeah, but who did it more? And who had 1,000? Who batted 1,000? Who batted 1,000?
And it's
exactly.
You're the GOAT. You're the GOAT. What is it? 9 or 8?
Yeah, the guy's been there.
Whatever. 9. Even then.
I would get like 600.
Like who's the GOAT?
That's not. I'm just taking I'm taking the rings out of it. I'm just saying like people always say LeBron's competing for Michael. He's doing things that nobody's ever done in NBA history.
You could also hold the argument that like look at the team around him. Jordan even says he's like we don't win rings without Scottie Pippen. You know,
LeBron didn't win a ring without Kyrie Irving or Kevin Love. LeBron didn't win a ring without Dwayne Wade or Chris Bosh.
Yes, but like it's
True.
different because those teams were trash before LeBron showed up.
So were the Bulls.
No, the Bulls
The
were
Bulls
trash
were
too.
horrible.
Bulls were
before Michael
trash.
Jordan
Bulls
was
were
there.
ass.
But they were that like on the edge playoff team with Jordan, and then they got Pippen and
Oh
and
yeah,
everybody
yeah,
else.
yeah. They were the
Yeah,
8th
I
seed
thought-
when they
I thought
played
you-
Boston.
LeBron
And-
shows
and-
up and they go
I
to
thought
9
you
straight
meant
finals.
before Jordan. I was like, no, the Bulls were
No.
fucking laughing stock of the NBA.
No, they didn't even
But-
have Pippen in them before then.
Yeah, but Will, but you think about
Look,
it too.
I'm not saying that like I believe that. I'm just saying other people argue that.
No, and I understand, but my point in this part too is like, yeah, like they got LeBron, and they had Dwayne Wade before that. But the same year they got LeBron, they got Chris Bosh, and then the same year they got LeBron, they got Kevin Love, and J.R.
Yeah.
Smith, and Iman Shumpert.
You're not wrong.
Like, it's like, you know, if you, it's just like it even, and I know you're not saying like anything. I'm just, you know,
But,
kind
like,
of countering that.
but like those, like you can't compare Kevin Love to like Dennis Rodman. Like Kevin Love's not a Hall of Famer, you know.
Kevin Love is fucking horrific. Kevin Love is the second most overrated player in NBA history behind
Exactly.
Scott Howard. I hate
You know,
Kevin.
how hard it is to compare like eras like that. It's like comparing Wayne
Yeah.
Gretzky to Connor McDavid.
So
the games are just
that's-
totally different. You know what I mean? Like Michael,
Exactly.
like the game back then was rougher. The game back
Yeah.
then with hockey was rougher. With football, every sport back then was rough, and now they're more regulated. It's so hard to compare all those people.
Well,
100%.
also,
I agree.
also that's why I say Michael Jordan, because like you say, like the time back then, that shit was rough and tough.
Yep.
Like you,
Yeah.
like I can't wait for episode 3 and 4 because they're highlighting the Pistons, and the Pistons were one of the toughest teams ever.
Dude, Jordan and
And-
Thomas hate each other to this
Dude,
day.
I
They
know,
hate each other.
I know, like that, and that was the only team that gave Jordan a slight issue in his career. That's
So-
the only team ever, because they knew how to play him. They knew that if they just hit him the entire game, that he wouldn't perform. And LeBron is not play. These guys today are not playing in that type of game. You literally tap someone on the fucking finger, like you're down for the count. Like that.
Yeah, and
that's
Andrew,
it.
Andrew, to counter what you're saying just real quick, the
Yeah.
way that I looked at it when I was like, there was never really a doubt in my mind that Jordan was the best to ever do it. Like but there's always just kind of
Yeah.
like that little bug in the side of your ear from watching ESPN, watching SportsCenter, watching NBA games. It's like LeBron could be the best. It's like the way that I kind of just like settled the argument to myself was not only put Jordan in our era, put LeBron in Jordan's era.
Yep.
If he tries to go up on fucking Karl Malone and put down one of those dunks that he puts down today, Karl Malone is fucking choke slamming him.
Yeah, but it's
out of
also
the air.
different. It's also different because like Jordan had to grow up like playing with that. LeBron didn't have to grow up playing with that.
No, I
you know,
know.
Yeah.
It also depends on how you grew up. Like Jordan knew he had to
I'm frozen,
be
yeah.
aggressive and competitive, like coming up. LeBron was going up against 5'5" white kids, probably.
Yeah.
You know,
That's why the
He also
that's why
beat
the-
Oak Hill though. He beat Oak Hill.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
That's why the evolution of every game that we watch today is pretty. It's simply amazing to like see the evolution of like
Yeah.
how
Bro,
much each sport has turned.
I'm sorry.
We okay?
you should
Cut
just
out, Dan.
Dan,
Cut
you're
out. You cut
Daniel.
out, my guy. That's not good.
Technical
There he is.
difficulty.
He's
Oh,
back.
there he is.
Hey, welcome back, ladies.
What
So,
happened?
dude, my internet, Chiquetti calls it fucking Walmart connection. My shit goes out at least.
Find your router, bud.
bro.
Shout out
We'll be in the middle of a war
Shout
zone.
out to the schmuck Anthony Cicchetti.
We'll be in the middle of a war zone game.
And I'm
No,
gone.
we're playing,
I'm
and all of a sudden it just goes from 4 people to 3, and you're like, what?
Gone.
There goes Dan. See you later.
Okay.
So wait, can I just just say what I was gonna say while I was
Yeah.
kind of frozen?
No,
So, Will, just like based off of what I heard, you're saying like LeBron and Jordan grew up playing in different ways, like they had to learn to play in like
Yeah.
a different type. But that's the point that I'm trying to make. Like it's a different era, understandable, and they're not necessarily comparable. But if you put one in our era, he flourishes. If you put one in the old era, he's fucked.
You could say
I don't
that
know if
about
LeBron is fucked.
almost
He has
anyone.
no jump shot, and all his game is
He has a
aggressive
mid-range
drives.
game. He has a mid-range game.
Okay,
Well,
he has.
yes, Michael Jordan could hit the three, but it wasn't like it was. It was one
wasn't
of
Steph Curry-esque.
where he was throwing it from the outside all the time. Like
Yeah.
that guy was driving the lane, hitting turnaround jumpers. That is LeBron's game if we're really talking about it. But he also passes. I think LeBron could flourish at that time because of how big and strong he is. Also say he was at that time, he would have a different mentality. So I
don't think he would be as good then. I don't think he would be as good back then as he is now.
You could say that about
ending the debate.
Almost any player nowadays, though.
Like you could say that with big men now, though.
Like Klay Thompson wouldn't be Klay Thompson in that age.
I think LeBron is the only player in today's NBA who could compete in that generation of the NBA.
Right.
I don't think anybody else.
You think
Giannis could? Giannis could.
Giannis could, and that might be it.
Do you think Embiid? Do you think Embiid could compete with those big guys?
Center. No, not a shot in hell.
Exactly.
Davis is too much of an outside kind of like.
You think?
He wouldn't. Dude, back in the day,
too
look at
frail.
Dennis Rodman.
Too
Dennis
frail.
did not fucking shoot the ball. Dennis Rodman was nicknamed Boardman because he got 20 rebounds a game and scored maybe twice.
Yeah, I can't wait till they get into Dennis Rodman on the show.
Episode 3, right?
I just love I like hearing about him because you just forget how much of an absolute defensive beast that guy actually
because he's
was.
A fucking freak.
Yeah.
His freak showness takes control.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing that I would like to add to from the first 2 episodes of me watching, I fucking hate Jerry Krause. I hate him.
Dude, he's a fucking dude.
I hate him.
Oh my god.
He's just this fat piece of shit.
He
hate the
came
guy.
out like the worst human being that has ever walked Earth.
Yeah. The fact that Scottie Pippen was the 122nd ranked highest paid player in the NBA.
Whoa. Not to cut you off, but he signed that contract.
I know. So here's obviously the reason why he signed that contract was because of where he came from, and he wanted to make the money right away.
Right. It sounds like a lot of money to him, but in realistic terms, it's not.
It's not. But also, it's not his fault for signing that contract.
His agent's
freaking agent's fault.
It's his agent's fault.
I want to see that agent interview. I want to see him interview. See what was going through his.
No. So the biggest thing from what I've heard everywhere and kind of what I put to my just put together for myself is we're talking about Scottie Pippen's contract, right?
Yes.
When he left, okay, I just wanted to make sure because I kind of zoned out for a second. But
before he left,
he saw his dad go from super healthy just down, and he was shit.
Yeah, it's
like
where
what
he
if
came
that
from.
happens to me? Like what if that happens to me? I need to get the bag now.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm selling out. He was like, "Don't. What if that shit happens to me? I need the bag, bro."
Flip it and tumble it.
But the other dude,
shut up the lot.
The two quotes that are coming out of this for me that are the most memorable are I don't remember the guy's name, but he was like Jerry Krause always deserved more credit than he got, but wanted more credit than he deserved, which is part of the reason that whole dynasty ended. That's a great quote.
I don't know if I interpreted this right, but I feel like in that in the final 2 seasons of Michael Jordan's career, or even at the beginning, I feel like he just didn't actually enjoy being there. I don't know what it was, but there was a certain vibe just between him and Jerry Krause. His relationship with Jerry Krause at the beginning, just wasn't good at all. It was you saw the minutes restriction. Obviously, it was put in place for a reason, but Michael Jordan was a freaking competitor and wanted to be on the floor at all times.
Right.
Luckily, when they showed that final game of the regular season when they played the Indiana Pacers to get into the playoffs, luckily I don't even know who the guy's name was, hit that game-winning shot. If he doesn't hit that game-winning shot, there's a lot of questions you should have put Michael Jordan in. You should have had him in the entire time. Jerry Krause, I think, is a full-on scumbag in my eyes.
He's a douche.
And I think Jordan was the type of player who wouldn't get sentimental with a team.
Yeah.
if he got traded, he was gonna still go out and ball for that
And
team
go
and
win.
try to win a
Yeah.
championship. Like I feel like he was never like sentimentally like connected with the Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
Like
he just wanted to win.
he just wanted to win,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
no
completely
matter who
agree.
he was on, no matter
I
what
completely
age.
agree. And then I mentioned 2 quotes. The second quote was, you guys were known as the cocaine team, whatever, and they're like, he was like, yeah. So I knocked on the door, and all of a sudden I heard everybody go shh, and they're like, oh, it's just a rookie, and they were like, and he was like, I turned around and I said, all right, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm like, bro, like that just shows like
Yeah.
he could have very
You got
possibly.
your weed over here. You got your cocaine over here. You got your alcohol over here. You got your hookers over there.
It just shows, dude, and like fucking dude, like I know like I might technically be stealing this line from Big Cat from Barstool, but like listening to Roy Williams during that fucking show, I can sit down and watch a documentary of him for an hour and a half just talking without swearing. Just like
Yeah,
straight
it's
up,
pretty
like
great.
I could just sit there and be so entertained just hearing Roy Williams. Well, that dadgum youngster had the best drive I've ever seen out of any dadgum kid.
I
play
found
for
it
my
impressive
program
that he
ever.
stayed 3 years at North Carolina.
Yep.
I find
Well, it was
that
a different-
impressive.
It was a different.
It was different
time
back then.
though.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
People
different.
Yeah, it
didn't
was
go
different.
one and done. It was not like it was very uncommon for someone to go one and done back then.
And honestly, it shows how good of a coach Dean Smith actually was. The fact that he told him at the end of junior year, go to the NBA. You should not be wasting your time here.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
go to the NBA. You're gonna succeed there.
Greg, our high
Rest in
school
peace,
principal's
Dean Smith.
our high school principal's brother played with Jordan at North Carolina.
Who? Wait, who was it?
Ms. Doherty's brother played with Jordan at UNC.
Oh yeah.
Fucking love
Wow,
Miss
that's pretty
Doherty. She
wild.
was the greatest.
Yeah. I thought another thing that was cool. I forget what the guy's name was on North Carolina who was his teammate. He was a center, I think.
I have no fucking clue.
Name escapes my mind, but the thing that was crazy was that like he said that he would play 1-on-1 versus Jordan, and at the time that center
he was
the best
better.
on the team, and he was better. And then within a week, or like within like a couple days,
Yeah.
Jordan was the best player on the team, like easily.
Yeah.
Like he just figured him out and like just
Yeah, like crazy shit. Well, anyways, I just can't wait for episode 3 and 4 on Sunday.
I'm excited.
It's gonna be good. Yeah.
So,
Yep.
All right. We're all good?
That
Everybody's
sounds
all
like a good
football's out.
episode
All
2 right
everybody's
there.
sports out.
Remember, subscribe to the YouTube, like,
I think-
comment, follow social media at LI Schmucks for Instagram and Twitter, and at Long Island Schmucks for Facebook.
Yeah.
Gregory, not yet.
Hold up.
I know
Maybe
Ryan
2
wanted to
seconds.
say
I wanted to say
something.
something.
Of course,
real
of
quick.
course. Say something.
Yeah, Dan's getting the outro.
I just wanted
Fucking
to
outro this week.
So,
I just wanted to add that social media right there.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure, guys.
It was a pleasure.
everybody. Thank you.
Yeah.
I wanted to just add that this stuff is it's gonna all come together shortly. We're getting a new background. We're gonna get a couple new things. We're getting the audio fixes from the first episode. I'm redoing what I know I need to redo and relearn and just touch up on like a couple of the technical side of things. So,
What is this?
Greg, you good there?
I'm sorry. It's another retarded Packers selection.
what they take.
They took a tight end, Josiah DeGuara from Cincinnati.
Hey, it's where Travis Kelsey.
who is that?
Maybe he's the
Who
next
is
Travis.
that?
Maybe he's the next Travis Kelsey.
Bro, the
Alright.
Jets
Point
drafted an
Thaddeus
edge
Moss.
rusher named Jabari
Sorry.
Zuniga. I'm excited.
Sorry. Ryan, continue. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, bro. You're good.
I'm getting heated again.
Oh, Greg, you're spot on, bro.
No, we're not. I don't have all night. Let's go.
All right, so I think
Fuck
that's
you,
it.
Andrew.
I
What are
think
you
for the
doing?
next podcast, we'll be able to have a nicer background, a couple nicer things, and hopefully this shit all becomes better, and we get a couple new listeners. And thank you if you've watched. Thank you if you watched the whole fucking thing. All right, Dan, take it away, my friend.
So, as Greg mentioned a little bit earlier, make sure to follow Instagram and Twitter at LI Schmucks. Like us on Facebook at Long Island Schmucks. We're keeping up with the content that we've been posting on Instagram on the Facebook page as well. Make sure you subscribe, follow, subscribe, comment, turn post notifications on YouTube for us. Anything you guys want to do. Thank you guys for a great show number 2. We thank all the listeners for tuning in. This is a great show. And for Andrew Dam, Greg Bruckner, Will Ross, Ryan Hill, and myself, thank you again. We'll see you next week.
See you, boys.
Peace.
Peace.
Thank you. Peace.
And that's a